Good morning. So today I've came to Mill Lodge Lake and I've got a short day session ahead of me. Now whenever I turned up this morning around 7 o'clock, I had a good look around and there are about 3 or 4 other anglers on, so I've came away from the pressure and I've got a nice little quiet section of water in front of me where I have fortunately seen a couple of fish. Now I definitely got off to a later start than what I've liked. Took me a little bit of time to decide where I wanted to go, but I have now got all 3 rods out there and I'll show you quickly where exactly I've put them and what I'm doing. Right, so where I've put the left hand rod is just tucked underneath these trees down to my left, and I have dropped that one in there with the baiting pole. Now the middle rod, I don't know if you can see, but there's quite a big section of pads out there, and that is where I've seen a couple of fish this morning, so it'd be silly for me not to put a rod there. And where the right hand rod is just straight out in front of me. There is a little channel over there that runs through to another body of water, and you frequently see the fish pass through. Now what I'm doing with all 3 rods is exactly the same. I'm just fishing an SLK wafter as a hook bit, a little mesh bag of the crayfish mini mix pellet on each of the rods, and I'm just fishing that over a spread of boilie, which is the bug in the SLK. Now I'm going to give it a couple of hours in this swim, and I'm going to fish off the barrow today, so I'm just out hoping to nick a bite before I have to head to work later on this afternoon. It's just gone after 10 o'clock and I have had a liner on that middle rod, which is a really good sign. Now I was here probably about 3 weeks ago where I managed to pick off a couple of fish, one of which I did get on camera. The other one I just slipped back as it came whenever I was packing up. Now I am hoping for a similar result today. Again, I'm only out on a short day session before I have to head to work, so I'm just trying to nick a bite. Right, I think it's time for a change of plans. I've just seen a couple of fish show on a peg on the opposite bank, and since I've had that liner in here, nothing's happened. I haven't seen any others as well, so I think that'll be a good opportunity just to drop on to them fish just to see if we can nick a quick bite. So I'm going to quickly throw everything on the barrow and make my way over there. That is the move done and out of the way. I just managed to get into the swim, put all 3 rods out, and then absolutely pissed it down. We even had some hail, so I quickly used the unhooking mat just to throw over the barrow and the camera just to keep it dry, and I just took shelter under the trees above me. So we really have had everything today. We've had sun, hail and rain. The only thing we're missing now is a carp. Good morning. So it's a couple of weeks on and I've came back to Mill Lodge. Now as you've already seen, the last session didn't go too well at all, and I did stay fairly mobile. I fished off the barrow, I even dropped in the 3rd swim before I headed home, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. So I've came back today to hopefully fix that. Now where I've decided to start is at the very top end of the lake, and I've got an island straight out in front of me. It's surrounded by pads, and that's where I've seen a few fish pass through, so it's definitely a good place as any to start. Right, I've had my first bite, which is always a good sign, but unfortunately it's not exactly what I'm after. It's a tench. So I'm going to quickly unhook him, get him slipped straight back, get the rod redone, and hopefully the next bite will be a carp. Well, that wasn't exactly what I was after that tench, but I have slipped him back and the rod's been redone with the baiting pole. Now, it didn't go too smoothly either. Well, the rod went out fine, but when I was pulling the pole back in, one of the sections had randomly snapped in the middle, so I'm not quite sure what's happened there. And while I'm on the topic of baiting poles, how many of you guys use them in your angling? Do you consider them as a bit of an edge, or do you think they're a little bit of a cheat? Let me know in the comments below. Oh, it's came off. Well, today it's just been one of them nightmare sessions. It just doesn't seem to be going quite right. So I'll start off with a tench on the left hand rod. I then break a section off the baiting pole. The right hand rod is just gone. I've played it all the way in, just about to reach for the net, and the hook pops out. And I know exactly which fish it was too. It is one I've had before, so it's not the end of the world, but it would have been nice to get on camera, and it definitely was an upper double low 20. But it's just one of those things, what do you do? So I have put the rod back out there, and I've seen a little bit of fizzing over the left hand rod, so I'm hoping that won't be our last chance. Yep, nope, yep. Well, I was just saying that I've had a little bit of a nightmare this morning. I've just had a hook pull right at my feet, and the same rod's just gone, but it's only a little common. But as long as I get this one in the net, I really don't care what size it is. Don't go through on pads. That's it. Right, there he is. He's definitely a lot smaller than the one I lost, but I really don't care. I'm just happy to get a fish in the net. Right, let's get him back, get that rod redone, and hopefully there'll be another one to come. Right, that is that small common put back, and it gets the blank out of the way, although I am still a little bit gutted about losing that much bigger fish earlier on. But I did just want to take a second to talk to you about bait, as I have made a slight change from what I was doing a couple of weeks back. Now, I'm still using the bug and SLK, but what I've added to that is the bug amino smoke, and I've given the baits a good dusting of the insect meal just to give it a little bit more added attraction. I've also made a change on the hook bait side of things, and what that is the SLK Evo hook baits. Now, what these are is a salt cured hook bait with a paste wrap, and they really do pump out a lot of attraction. I've just had another bite on the middle rod, but I did just quickly slip it back as it was even smaller than the last one. So those Evo hook baits definitely seem to be working. Now the plan for today was to stay mobile and fish off the barrow, but I think we're having 3 bites in such a short space of time. I'm going to sit in this swim a little bit longer, but I am going to quickly show you exactly where I've been placing the rods. So what I'm doing with the right hand rod is I've got it tucked up against the island, but I'm also quite close to the pads, you can see on the right hand side, and that is where I lost that good fish this morning. Now as you come along the island, just centre shot, you should be able to see a little bit of a clear area between 2 sets of pads, and that's where I put the middle rod. Again, it's quite tight to the island. Now my left hand rod, you can see a bigger patch of pads, and that's where that one is. Now I have positioned all 3 rods with the bait and pole, and I'm also fishing all 3 locked up. Right, that is me for this one. I've run out of time. Now it hasn't been too bad of a day, I suppose. I've had 3 takes, lost that decent fish earlier on, which is a little bit of a shame, but I did have those 2 smaller commons, so it wasn't a blank. So I'm going to get everything quickly put on the barrow and get myself off to work. So I just want to say thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.